All right. Hello, all you wonderful, amazing, spectacular, beautiful tea people. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's a little bit chilly. I'm quite looking forward to be able to drink some tea here in Taiwan. I think today it's like 9 or 10 degrees, which is chilly. I'm still not wearing shoes. I'm still wearing flip-flops, but only because it shows my dominance as a extremely hairy Canadian male. But it's cold. So I'm looking forward to this tea. And the tea today is a tea that I hope I will be able to add to the site soon. I have enough to add to the site, but just not very much. But I'm hoping I got enough to add to the site. But it is this beautiful tea right here. And we'll get to drinking this tea today and describing it. I threw a little bit in a bowl and added boiling water to it the other day. It was nice. Well, yesterday. And it was absolutely beautiful. But we'll talk about this tea, and we'll talk about some other things. And if anybody has anything else they want to talk about, just throw it in the chat, and we can talk about it today as well. Now, what is going on with Mountain Stream teas and all that type of stuff? I will just use this. Things are getting close to the Lunar New Year. So Lunar New Year is coming up. So if you want some tea, you better get on the. That's annoying. I don't know. Should I try and take it off? See? Oh, I can't read the comments if I take it off. So I apologize for the lit up glasses. Right now, the warehouse is a little bit of it looks like a bomb went off. The reason it looks like a bomb went off is because, of course, we are moving soon. So around or before, certainly before the sale, which would be March 20th. Remember, March 20th, if you want cheap tea. For 3 days, every March, it's 20% off. But we want to move before then. And we haven't done it yet. And so it is... Yeah, it's pretty crazy here. But it'll get done. And we'll be able to move, and it'll be fine. So this is on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. So if anybody watches this later and wants to watch it on one of those, or if you're watching right now, you can move to those as well. Now, what am I drinking right here? And actually, I should have thought of this. I should have actually showed you pictures of the garden and the actual tea. But we'll get to that in a minute. Now, today, I don't think I'll go very deeply into the Tea Mafia story, but suffice it to say that the Tea Mafia episodes for Mountain Stream Teas are now officially done. We will not be dealing with the Tea Mafia anymore, which is kind of sad. I'm definitely actually disappointed in that. I'm kind of sad about it. Maybe you'll find a little missed opportunity in the move. I have some missed opportunity, my grateful friend. I do. I have some missed opportunity, and it's actually last year for the 5-year anniversary. I gave it out to a couple people, and I tried the missed opportunity when I was repackaging it up. I've got maybe 150 grams left, and it's done well. It's done okay. It's done okay aging. But it hasn't done as well as I had hoped it would have. So it's a little, the first steep is a little bit wet, a little wet storage there. So I think what I'm going to do is I've got to roast it. So I've got to take it out and roast it. Let's see here. If I move this like this, oh, that helps. That helps. I can still read the comments in the YouTube. Oh, that's way better. Okay, there's a good trick. So now I know. But yes, that is something, the missed opportunity. I've got it still around. I've had it a couple times. It didn't age as well as I had hoped it would. But good to learn. It's still got the good chachi. It's just the first steep's a little wet storage. This tea is gorgeous. It is absolutely amazing. I've had this tea since October, and it is just so beautiful. It is so beautiful. Let's get to this tea. Let's talk about this tea. So what is this tea? This tea is a tea ball. It is technically a black tea ball. But when you're looking at oxidization and you're looking at teas that are like this, it's very, 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 very hard to get 100% oxidization. So a tea like this, it's almost impossible to get 100% oxidization on it because of the way that it's processed and because you're not going to be able to dry the center of that or all of it in general to 100 or to 100%. So there's always going to be some microbiological stuff that goes on in that. And so that's what this is right here. This is technically a black tea, but at the same time, it's much closer to the heicha that we had in the past. And I think I'll probably call it heicha. I'll call it like, I don't know. The title for this was Camellia formosensis sinensis. So whatever the heck that is, that's what this is, right? Camellia formosensis sinensis. And what's the story behind this? Well, it's a guy up on Alishan, and there were wild tea. Yes, I will roast it for sure. And there was a wild tea up on the mountain, and the wild tea sort of just grew, and he just let it grow. And it had cross-pollinated with all of the Chin Oolong, right? So the Chin Oolong. And this was about 60 to 70 years ago. So all these tea trees are about 60 to 70 years, and he just let them grow. Actually, I got to go meet the guy. There's a couple different stories, but I didn't actually meet him. I went to the tea show. I bought like so much of his tea, but I didn't actually get to meet him because he had sort of a family emergency, so he couldn't go to the tea show. So there's just people helping him sell the teas. And I really got to go see. He sounds like a really, really nice guy. But I've just been trapped in Hualien for various reasons. And it is so similar to Taiwanese heicha, it's amazing. But, and this is the fascinating part about it. Actually, I might go and get the other one too. It's got the soul of formosensis, but then all the flavor characteristics, the things that float around, all the floatery things around the top, are actually the sinensis, the Chin Oolong. And so you have the sort of the leaf litter stuff going on, but then you also have sort of the nature of the sinensis or the Chin Oolong going through it. So if I was going to make a guess, if we had enough money, if we had an infinite amount of money and an infinite amount of scientists and things like that, you know what we do? We take it, and I would put my money on about 40% sinensis, so Chin Oolong, maybe 35%, and then the rest would be the formosensis, because the nature of it, the real heart of this thing, is absolutely formosensis. Now, what is formosensis? Now, the people who do not know what formosensis is, that is the indigenous Taiwanese tea plant. When I say indigenous, I mean like pre-Chinese tea plant, right? Indigenous. And so it didn't come from anywhere. It's just here in Taiwan. And when I first started selling these types of teas, everybody would say, "You're a liar. You're a liar." Just like, when Bob Dylan started playing electric guitar. Judas, things like that. But no, it's real. You can look it up now. And it's got really long, hopefully I'll show you the leaves here. It's got really long leaves, sort of like this. And in the right situations, it grows really, really fast. In the wrong situations, it grows really, really, really slow. When I say wrong, I mean like forest grown. Now, these plants, the pure sort of formosensis, if they're from a seed or they're from sort of a cutting, when you plant these things and you take care of them, they're just feral. They just shoot up, and then they're just everywhere. They're all over the place. They send out shoots everywhere. They're just amazing. They're really, really, really quite amazing. But in the forests, it's a forest, so there's all the competition. And so in the forests, they tend to only get about maybe like this thick would be about 100 years. So on Instagram now, I guess if you go like this, then it gives you it gives you hearts. It gives you hearts. So I apologize that you are not getting the full show if you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook. You're not getting the whole show. But on Instagram, there's hearts that come up when I do that. But anyways, it's like about this big, right? That's about 100 years. And then for every 100 years after that, you get a little bit. And the ones that are like 500 years and above, you're looking at about maybe this big, right? So they don't grow that well. But when they're taken care of on a farm, they get about like sort of maybe this thick really fast. They get that thick really fast after about 4 or 5 years. Anyways, these trees that I've seen pictures of, and I've drank enough of these teas to know that that's probably the truth, is these are sort of about the 100 year sort of size. That's the size of the trees. And so, they're sort of about this big. And they're wild. I really should have the pictures of them, but I got to go see them myself. I really got to go see them myself. And I got to buy all of this tea that he has left because it's wonderful. And anyways, the story was, if I remember correctly, and again, this is sort of secondhand, third hand. I actually probably next subscription box, I'll probably put some of this in the next subscription box just for fun. Next subscription box is the best of the year, so I'll go through the list and I'll put in the various teas. The Old Master Dong Ding is sort of always the best of the best, but I put it in last month's subscription box, the wintertime version of it, so it won't be in this subscription box. Don't worry. If you're sick of that tea, if you're not sick of it, then let me know, and yeah, I can throw some in for you if you want. But anyways, that's next month's box. I'll probably throw this in just for fun because it's fun. It's a really, really fun tea, and I think I got enough to throw it in. Although it is a really expensive tea. Anyways, what was the point? Right. So these tea trees were on a part of the mountain that nobody really went to, and then they found them, and then after they'd been growing there for a while, and then they sort of have taken care of them and now create this beautiful tea out of these tea trees. And these tea trees are probably about 3 meters tall plus, so 3 meters tall plus. And sort of there's the main root that comes out. In the pictures I've seen, they're just sort of coming out like this, and you got to use a ladder to pick the tops and things like that. So this is the real deal, and I know the real deal from my days in the mafia, and so I definitely know what real formosensis tastes like. And what's fascinating about this, what's so fascinating about it, is, like I said, it's not 100% formosensis. Right? So you got these indigenous, been here forever and ever and ever tea plant, and this is not 100% formosensis. So at some point in the pollination, there was a mix between, because these are all seed grown, there was a mix between formosensis and the sinensis, and they were put together. And so this tea, you can taste both. You can absolutely taste both. You drink it and you go, what? What is it? Oh, it's halfway in between. It's fascinating. Now with this tea, because of the way it's produced and because of the nature of this tea, it's mostly sinensis. It's mostly sinensis. But here, I'm going to show you the other tea because I've got one of these open. Yeah, here it is. And so there's two different versions of it. But one is sort of this black tea. Oh, the sweetness in this tea is just so beautiful. Then the other one here is more like just a greenish oolong that is just, you can see it here, the greenish oolong. And so it's greener like this. And this one's fascinating because the first half of it is 100% all Chin oolong. The first, and then the second half is all 100% formosensis. So this is literally like a 50-50. This is absolutely a 50-50. Whereas this one is much more like I'm going to say 30-70. It's much more like a formosensis. Now, what does that mean? Like a formosensis. What that means, like a formosensis, that means there is the wonderful and amazing and beautiful taste of dry leaf litter. So when I say dry leaf litter, for me, what it does is it brings back lots of memories of my childhood. I grew up in Southern Ontario in Canada. And so around October, mid-October, the leaves would start to fall, and then they would lay up. The leaves would lay up sort of like this, and then you have layers of leaves, and there would be maybe a rain, but usually they're pretty dry. Let's just say today we're looking at the leaves and they're dry. And then you would get this unmistakable sweetness as there was starting the microbiology, the microbiology, the microbiome would start to eat these leaves, and there would be a beautiful sweet smell that would come off of them. Fresh, clean, all of these things, just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful smell. And that is sort of the nature of the Camellia formosensis. That really is the nature of the Camellia formosensis. And you can get sort of the ones that are a little bit greener like this. You would get sort of a greener leaf litter, and then the ones like this would be the darker leaf litter. And that's absolutely what this is. Now let's see if I can pull out a leaf for everyone to see. Okay, here's one. The top is a little bit gone from this, but you get an idea of the nature of these tea leaves. Now, like I said before, these tea plants were all done by seed, so they're all grown by seed. And basically what that means when it's all grown by seed is every single leaf and every single tea plant are going to be different. Every single one. They're all going to be different. And certainly when I've gone deeply into this and taken out the leaves and shown people the leaves, you can absolutely see that mostly the shapes of the leaves are pretty similar, but what the difference would be is sort of in the striations, the things on the side, the edges. And this is kind of small. I'm going to blast this one so you can really see some of the leaves here. But you can see what I'm talking about. Like, you can't really see what I'm talking about. But I'm sure one of these leaves in here, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So you can see it's sort of long and narrow, and usually the tea leaves are a little bit more like this, but this is long and narrow, just like that. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? That's hopefully we'll get some of these in here. And for years and years, these tea trees were talked about. Not these ones specifically, but just generally speaking, the Camellia formosensis tea trees. And they were quite hard to get to and illegal to sort of pick, a lot of them. So what wound up happening was people would pick them anyways. And when people picked them, they would make some pretty terrible tea. The reason they would make some pretty terrible tea is you pick them, you got to get them down off the mountain, so they're going to be rolled around. They're going to be all sorts of things are going to be happening to these leaves before you actually get them to the place where you can actually make the tea. Then you have to make them in secret, and then because of that, people can just buy them. Like say, oh, this is what it is, blah blah blah. People would buy them no matter what because you're only making a little bit. And so I had this before sort of the tea started getting good, formosensis tea, and it was terrible. Just like. It was awful. It really wasn't very good at all. And sometimes I've tasted it as root vegetable-ish with a greener version. Yes, yeah, you could definitely do that. Sort of like a lubu, like a cabbage, not cabbage, but radish soup. There we go. Losing all my English, but yes, like a radish soup. Absolutely, there is a thickness to it, and sort of a sweetness to it with the greener versions of the various different teas. Right now, it's becoming. It's called shan cha or mountain tea. There's a beautiful blueberry note in this right now as well. It's and it's becoming a little bit more common, I guess you could say. Like there's a few more people that are growing it. It's got a number now. I think it's number 24. But the problem is that when you grow it, like I said before, when you grow it in the sort of when you really take care of it, and you grow it in rows in the farms and things like that. The thing grows like a weed. It just grows like you would not believe. like you would not believe. It grows so like huge, thick. You treat it well. You put it in the sun. The thing just go. Like next thing just had a landslide. Hurry up. Get out there. Sort of an idea. It's just in the DNA of this plant, and so oftentimes when it's grown that way, it doesn't taste particularly very good. As the tea plants get older and as the people learn how to produce the tea from those tea leaves, it does get better. But when it first happens, it actually oftentimes it tastes quite. It doesn't taste very good. Let's just put it that way. And it takes a long time for people to figure out how to make a good tea from it. Wow, I'm actually really surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I'm like, it's hard to pick out a leaf here because it's all just the tips. Like this is all done by hand. And it's just the tips. It's just the tippy tops of the leaves. I can't pick out a big one here. There's lots of sort of small ones. Well, there's a little bit of a broken one, but I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to do it. These are too small. They're too small for me to really go in and show you the nature of these leaves. That's fun. I've just put this aside. So usually around this time of year, I go on tea trips. I travel around, but this year it has not been an option. Unfortunately, it's just been too hard for me to do. My wife decided she was going to teach a lot, and so I'm trapped at home with my children. So I can't go and do this, but I'm hoping that in March I can go out and do things. Who knows? Maybe in February as well. We'll see. But February is Lunar New Year, and there's no way I'm traveling around Lunar New Year. That is just absolutely that's a mistake. Don't come to Taiwan during Lunar New Year. Never, ever do it. It's absolutely horrible. It's terrible. It's just brutal. Nothing more annoying and boring than Lunar New Year, I'll tell you what. But hopefully we can use that time and move a lot of this stuff to the new warehouse area spot. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah. So I think that's about it for now. I wanted to drink this tea. I wanted to get deeper into it. I'm going to get in touch with the fellow who makes this tea and see if I can get some more. And I want to sort of offer it up for the next email, which will probably go out in a week or two. Because I've got enough to sell. I don't know. I've got maybe a kilogram of it. So, I can break it up into pieces and people can try it for sure. Well, if I don't send it out if I don't send it out in the tea box next month. So I gotta figure that out. I gotta figure that out. But anyways, last call for any questions here, and then we'll move on. I gotta thank you to everybody who's bought tea. I've got all the tea packed and ready to go over here. So anybody who's ordered tea up until this point right now, your tea will be sent out, except for 2 people who have bought boxes for next month. So your tea will go out on February the 1st. But everybody else, your tea will be going out today. Today will be the day where your tea goes out. But thank you, everybody, for watching. I certainly hope wherever you are in the world, you have an amazing morning, night, evening, and all of that. This will be up for sale on the site soon. As soon as I know how much more of it I can get, I will buy it, and then hopefully I'll be able to go and visit this guy late February, early March. That's what I'm hoping, and sort of get some more of this stuff. But anyways, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next live stream.